Hi, my name is Collins Lee, and this is the detective report for the organization of Caddy Master at the TPC Sawgrass specific location. Caddy Master is an organization since 1993's, putting caddies out to some of the top golf courses in the entire world, including Pebble Beach, Whistling Straits, and TPC Sawgrass at the specific location that I work at. Caddy Master believes that not only is a caddy there to give the guests yardage and give them advice and such, but they're also there as a storyteller, a guide, and an ambassador of the game. Um, Caddy Master's ultimate achievement is to provide the guests with a professional caddy and in turn give the guests a more enjoyable and fuller experience. So I took some time to look over Caddy Master as an organization and do a little research, talk to some of my fellow coworkers and see what they think of the organization. The structural frame of Caddy Master is rather unique. It's very strong, I believe. Um, you go into the caddy office and you're there for maybe an hour, sometimes up to 2 or 3, depending on how slow the day is. But once you're out on the golf course, you're not really around management. You're with your guests. So a lot of the employees really like this, that they don't have a manager looking over their shoulder every second, nitpicking of what they're doing and whatnot. Um, in order to provide the best possible service for the guests at these world-renowned golf courses, Caddy Master is responsible for hiring and maintaining professional, knowledgeable, and friendly caddies. The caddy hiring process is rigorous. It's 4 steps of interviews, and then once you get done with the interview process and they invite you to training, you have to go through 2 weeks of non-paid training in order to learn the skill. And then once you become a caddy, you're in a 90-day probationary period, whether or not they feel that you're an acceptable caddy for the program. And after 90 days, caddies hand out evaluation cards to their guests, and after 90 days, management looks at these evaluation cards and decides whether they want to keep you on or not. At the TPC Sawgrass specific location of Caddy Master, we have 3 managers. Tom is our main head caddy master, and he is more of the administrator. He takes care of the corporate duties, hiring, firing, employment decisions, and whatnot. And then we have 2 other assistant caddy managers that are take on more of a supervisor role, where they are more with the employees on an everyday basis. They're looking out to help the employees, and so their primary responsibilities is to handle the tee sheet on a daily basis and get caddies to their guests and out on the golf course. When I talked to some of the caddies, there was a unanimous decision that that they like working in this kind of environment where they're not around their managers all the time. To quote one of the caddies, he said, "It's nice to be in a work atmosphere where managers aren't always looking over your shoulder every second." And as a current employee there, I agree that it is a nice feeling to know that your boss isn't always looking over your shoulder. Caddy Master has a unique yet simple structure in their day-to-day operations that has proven to be a good system in outputting excellent caddies who provide unmatched service to their guests. Because Caddy Master is the most known and reputable caddy company in the U.S., we receive a very diverse group of people. We have 18-year-old kids that graduate from high school locally working there, and we've got 65-year-old weathered men that have been all over the world caddying in different locations. Being caddy is a very grueling and physically demanding job, and so Caddy Master is responsible for making sure that all their caddies are in top physical shape in order to handle the necessary duties. I did a poll with about 30 caddies on a handful of subjects to get a better idea of their background. My results showed that 70% of caddies are single versus married, And 60% of caddies either smoke or they use chewing tobacco and whatnot. I didn't really find these statistics that surprising since I am a caddy and I do kind of know how the caddy life is for most people. Another interesting stat that I saw: 83% of the caddies I pulled do make a comfortable living. They're comfortable paying their bills, so it is a pretty lucrative job if you can handle it. It is solely based on gratuity almost. So basically, your gratuity is you determine your gratuity based on how hard you work that day and what kind of customer service you give to your players. To touch on the human resource framework of Caddy Master, there's very little turnover. I believe that this is a direct reflection on the quality of employees that Caddy Master does hire. They don't hire that often, once maybe twice on an annual basis, and they'll bring in a group of 4 to 6 individuals. Maybe 2 or 3 of those come out of training and all the interview processes and the 90-day probationary period. Um, another strong another strength within the organization of Caddy Master is that they have formed a very strong interrelationship with TPC Sawgrass. Caddy Master is a contracted company uh, by TPC Sawgrass to come in and run the caddy program, and I believe that Caddy Master's done a good job through the 8 years that they've been at TPC Sawgrass, strengthening that relationship with TPC Sawgrass. And the employees of TPC Sawgrass basically look at us as TPC Sawgrass family as well. We all get along well, so I really feel like the organization as a whole has done a great job of intertwining with TPC Sawgrass and strengthening that relationship. As it is with every company, I do believe Caddy Master does have some weaknesses. There's not really many. I'm an extremely happy employee at Caddy Master, but they do have some weaknesses. When I was talking to some of the caddies there, they expressed to me that sometimes they're unhappy with some of the long wait times on slower days. They can sit up in the caddy office for up to 4 hours before they even get out onto the golf course with their guests, and then once you get on the golf course, it's 3.5 to 5 hours. So that 4 hours, the maximum 4 hours that you might have to wait a few days a year or so are unpaid. So it does disgruntle caddies a little bit, and it can affect their attitude and how they perform their service for the day. So that was a strength. And then that was a weakness. And one of the other weaknesses that I did see is Caddy Master, the corporation, is based here in Ponte Vedra Beach, just down the road from TPC Sawgrass. And what they do is they use the TPC Sawgrass location as a training base for management, for caddy managers. So what they do is they send these caddy managers into the they send these caddy managers into the TPC Sawgrass location where I work and all my coworkers, and they train for 2 months, and then they're shipped out to another caddy master location once they're trained. I saw this as a weakness just because it's hard for myself and the rest of my coworkers to gain a strong relationship with management, and obviously that's always very, very important factor when you're trying to um, have relationships with your managers. So I did see this as a weakness. It's not like they can really help it a whole lot. As an alternative, maybe use a couple locations. So the employees at TPC Sawgrass aren't the ones not able to gain a strong relationship with their managers. But like I did say, we do have one main manager that is always there. He's been there since the beginning of the caddy program. Just to touch on the Bowman and Deal's 4 framework approach, for structural, I believe that Caddy Master does contain a very strong structure. Um, it begins with the management, but ultimately ends with the service that the caddies provide the guests, and I believe that we're able to provide the guests with such high service because of how well we're trained and how selective they are with the people that they do hire. The human resource framework consists of management understanding employees' needs and concerns and doing what they can to fulfill them. Management also does a great job of keeping their employees in the loop of what is going on at TPC Sawgrass and if there's any changes in the rules or whatnot. The political framework is strong because of the quality of employees that Caddy Master hires. Caddying is a primarily gratuity-based job, so management basically tells you what they expect, and then it's up to you to go out and earn your money. I didn't really feel that Caddy Master needed to provide much symbolic framework again because it's a gratuity-based job, so we're responsible for going out and performing our duties if we want to, make the kind of money that we want. So, I mean, the organization's done an excellent job building up a plan and utilizing it in an effective manner. The reason Caddy Master is at some of the world's top golf courses is because they know how to put the best caddies on the golf course. So when a guest can enjoy the company of a caddy, um, they're guaranteed a memorable experience. So with a strong company base that Caddy Master possesses, the only direction for this organization is to go up, in my opinion. And as I said before, I'm an extremely happy employee here, and I really believe that Caddy Master is a great organization from the ground up in all structures of their framework.